Hello, I'm Alice Agnes, and today video will be about my latest trip to Zakopane and Kraków. Krakow. I went now in September, and by the way, I went for the show Louis Tomlinson. You can check out the video about the show, which came out a week before this video. And today I just wanted to talk about this trip. It was a 3-day trip, and I want to mention few places that I've been to, and you can check out more about this on my blog, because that's where you can find more about this, photos and just everything. Because when I talk very often I can forget about names and titles and this kind of things. I always remember more when I'm writing, and that's why I always say check out those blogs or descriptions, because there must be always something that I forget to mention. Okay, so let me tell you now about Zakopane. So it was my second time when I went to Tatra Mountains, and the first time was last year, and this time I stayed there, in a villa, and it was so different than last year. And this time I had the luck to weather. It was warmer than during my previous trip in August, and it was really nice. And despite some problems with the villa and the accommodation, I think it was a really nice place, and there was a little stream next to it. I didn't see it, but I could hear it, and you can find so many such little streams in whole Zakopane, and I haven't felt so tired then, and you can just walk and walk and you always love those views, and that's why I must come back there one day again. But I also love the Zakopane style because it's a very special national style, which was created in 19th century, but at the turn of 19th and 20th centuries, actually it was like that. So and this style is very special because Stanisław Witkiewicz created it, being inspired by the real art of those mountaineers, and this way so much amazing things were created. And if you go to Zakopane, I really recommend to check out maybe all villas that were built in this style, and that's really beautiful. It's all made in wood, so but no, not always. So it's very specific. But there is also one place that's the Museum of Tatra Mountains, and this building was already made in also in the in the Zakopane style, but it's not wooden. It's hard to say. Some kind of palace that is made of concrete, I think you can call it like that. But it's hard to create all those ornaments in such a form, so it's less beautiful, but not quite, than all those wooden houses. And that's why I love Zakopane for those mountain views, for this Zakopane style. And as I've mentioned, this this Museum of Tatra Mountains is placed on Krupówki Street. That's a very typical something like that street to this little town, city, and there's a similar street in Sopot. It's this kind of street where you can find so many restaurants, and people just go there to just walk around. So this is this kind of place, but I recommend to check out places which are less visited by people, because when you go to Krupówki Street just to walk there around and have a dinner in any of those restaurants, I think you miss this kind of amazing places like the Museum of Tatra Mountains. And this one building is also placed in other locations, and this way you can learn more about art, about this city, and it's really worth to go to such places, because you can learn more. And these places are this kind of places where not too many people go. So Zakopane is always very much crowded during these summer days. So I'm happy that I could go there now in September, and that it was a really good weather. And okay, enough of Zakopane. Now a few words about Kraków. I've already been there so many times since 2020, and there's one place that I wanted to go to and check out the museum, which I couldn't see previously. That's the Kościuszko Mount, and there is a museum which tells a story of this character, which is very important to Poles and to Americans. And I totally recommend to go there, because you can learn more about this person, and you can see beautiful views from the mount, because it's on a hill, and on this hill is the mount, so the view from there is really amazing. So what more did I see? I can't remember right now. Yes, I couldn't see too much, because what is very typical, the road from Zakopane to Kraków is always very this kind of street that gets that where you can get in a traffic jam, and if you don't feel like stuck, then you are very lucky, because that's very typical to this street, Zakopianka in Polish. Poles probably know what I mean. So and that's why I couldn't see more before the show, and the next day I couldn't go to some places that I planned to, because they were simply closed. And that's because it was Monday, and also because they suddenly happened to be closed. So I haven't seen too much, but this mount is totally the place that I'm happy that I come back to, and you can totally see it. And yep, that's all. Okay, so as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, you can check out the blog post. Probably there will be two blog posts about Zakopane, about Kraków, and there will be a lot of pictures. So check out the description. And well, this is the last video of the season 3, so I'd like to thank you so much for these few months that you've spent with me, and well, see you next year. So yep, I hope you like this video. You can like, subscribe, comment, and that's it for the last time. Okay, bye.